Uh-oh, them butcher boys back. Yeah, sick, glitch, C-dub. Yeah, you know, we got a new motto this year. MCF, money come first.
Yeah. What up? It's the man about town, Virgil Berry, aka Stocks with the Facts. And y'all know y'all tuned in to another episode of A Real Talk Podcast. First things first, smash that like button, click on the bell, and subscribe to the page. Now today, we're talking about this thing going on with Russia. Now, I don't know if a lot of y'all get it or understand that we are on the brink of World War III, and Russia is on that list of countries that was subject for regime change according to the Project for a New American Century, right? Remember when I told y'all about the Project for a New American Century and the list of countries that they came up with that they wanted to basically take over? Russia's one of those countries. North Korea's one of those countries, right? And China's one of those countries. Good luck with regime change in Russia and China and North Korea, because they ain't going. But I want to delve a little bit more deeper into this, just a little bit. Vladimir Putin isn't a good guy. Don't get it messed up. I know a lot of y'all probably seen my post on Facebook, and that's not that I support Vladimir Putin. It's not that I'm an advocate for Vladimir Putin. I just challenge and question and provide or come with a different perspective to look at. Putin is a gangster. I'm going to be the first to admit that. And to some extent, he's even a criminal, as he's under the guise of getting the Russian oligarchs under control. You know, he actually has made it to where the Russian gangs, you know, basically like the Russian mafia, has more control and influence than they've ever had. You know, and that could be argued, you know, that could be argued. That don't necessarily mean that that's all the way true. I'm pretty sure there's some things to that whole aspect that are not. But for the most part, Vladimir Putin is as much as part of the establishment as anybody else. But see, he wants to run things the way he wants to run things, right? Now, don't make no mistake about it. Putin is definitely a part of the power structure. But what y'all got to understand about the power structure is that they're at war and odds with each other over who's going to run this joint when they finally take everything over. And this is what we're seeing now. Now, let's take a walk down memory lane. You see what they did with Assad in Syria. You see what they did with Muammar Gaddafi, right, in Libya. Two countries that were on the list for regime change. And you see what they did with Afghanistan and Pakistan as well. Now, what am I talking about? Y'all remember how they was telling us that Assad was gassing and killing his own people, when actually he was doing nothing of the sort, right? With the fake ass bombings with the gas and nerve agents and all of that stuff. Now, I'm pretty sure at some point here shortly, to convince us that Putin is the devil that they trying to make him out to be, they're going to say that when this war spills over into Russian territory, which is very possible, very likely, they're going to come up with stories saying that Putin is killing his own people. And like I say, y'all, man, we got to look at this stuff with very observative and very questioning eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, Putin ain't no angel. Not at all. Not even a little bit. But what I can say about Putin is that he's giving a big middle finger to the power structure by, for one, invading Ukraine, and two, by basically telling everybody in the power structure that I know who y'all are, I know what's going on, I have one of the biggest militaries in the world, I got the very largest military as my supporter, right? So, you know, it's whatever. That's basically what Putin is saying. Putin's ready to push that red button on them nukes and stuff like that. He ain't playing, and he ain't going, and he's not backing down. He's not scared. Y'all gotta remember the old Russian saying. You gotta say, remember the old Russian saying is better red than dead. Right? So they would much rather have nuclear fallout before they ever acquiesce. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Russian power structure. Now, Vladimir Putin kicked the Rothschild banking family out of Russia a couple of years ago, not too long ago. And I also want to mention this as well. He also don't respect the royal crown over there in Britain for lots of reasons. One, he knows, allegedly, that they're not human, and he also knows that they're actually really German. You know what I mean? The Windsors are really the Saxe-Coburg-Gothics out of Germany, and are actually related to Hitler by blood. So, you know what I mean? This whole thing is just a big movie, y'all. It's a huge movie. And what I would suggest is that people don't feed into it emotionally. I suggest that people look at this from a very critical standpoint, as in relation to what this means for the rest of the world and the implications for our freedom globally. So, you know, man, this whole thing, you know, they talking about starting a draft. You know what I'm saying? Over there in the Ukraine, they are forcing people to fight. Now, don't get me wrong, people are volunteering to fight too, to hold off the Russian forces, but a lot of people are being made to fight. So y'all gotta think about that as well. You know what I mean? We're on the brink of World War III, right? Which is not a good thing for any of us, because we all will be severely affected by it. Now, what I suggest y'all do, I suggest y'all go check out that Project for a New American Century, right? And see what they was talking about. It was a general, I want to believe his name was Wesley Clark, when 9/11 was going on. And he was at the Pentagon, and a general came to him and told him that we just got this from the upstairs office, meaning Rumsfeld's office, that we're supposed to be invading not only Iraq, but Afghanistan and other countries that's on that list. And Wesley Clark was like, wow, really? Now, this guy was a Joint Chief of Staff General, and he wasn't aware or privy to the Project for a New American Century's plans. So that just goes to show you that compartmentalization in the U.S. government, specifically, especially the military branch of the government, is very, very prominent. It's a need-to-know basis in the military. You only know what you're supposed to know. So when a 4-star Joint Chief of Staff General, Wesley Clark, doesn't know or isn't privy to what the Project for a New American Century has planned, they'll let you know a lot of stuff. They'll let you know that it's a hierarchical rule from the top down, and even a 4-star general can be kept in the dark about what the actual plans of the U.S. government is. So, you know, y'all smash that like button, man. Click on that bell. Subscribe to the page, man. Lots more content coming. You know what I mean? This thing with Russia and the Ukraine, it's turning into a very serious situation. And I just want y'all to, you know, I don't want people to panic, because that's the worst thing to do in these situations, is to panic. But also be very mindful of what's actually going on and what precedent is being set, right? Because Putin clearly said if any countries intervene and come to the Ukraine's aid, it is going to be dire consequences for them. So, you know, at the end of the day, we all know that everybody at the top is glad-handing and supporting and actually advocating for one another, but they have to put on these fronts, right? These theaters of war movies to make us think that they are somewhat at odds with each other, which they are. But at the end of the day, like I said earlier, they all have the same end game. They all have the same goal in mind, but they all got different ways of how they want to go about doing it and who's actually going to be in charge once the goal and mission is complete. So, you know, man, just, man, keep informing yourselves on this stuff, man. Y'all got to remember, man, Russia is one of the biggest militaries on planet Earth, second to only China and the United States. And if anybody attacks Russia, China's going to come to their aid. Because like I said in the last video, Europe, specifically Russia, is Europe's and Asia's gas station. And if y'all think Russia and North Korea is going to allow their energy supply to be in any way, shape, or form tampered with, any way, shape, or form blocked, or any way, shape, or form prevented from them having access to it, oh, they gonna do whatever they feel is necessary, and they have the military fortitude to do so. So keep that in mind. America doesn't have the biggest army, they have the deadliest army. Keep that in mind. They have the most advanced technologically army. Or do they? Or do they? Russia and China are strong allies. They've been experimenting with genetic modification, super soldier programs. Every country on this planet that has a military worth mentioning has a super soldier program. Y'all can believe that. Y'all remember the movie Universal Soldier? How about y'all remember the movie Soldier with Kirk Douglas, or not Kirk Douglas, but with Kurt Russell in it? So y'all pay attention, man. Keep your eyes open, man. Keep questioning and stay tuned to what's going on. I like how everybody's talking about what's going on with Russia. This is a very important and serious situation and something that needs to be discussed. So like I say, y'all, man, y'all keep y'all's eyes open. Stay questioning. You know what I mean? Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe bell as well. Hey.
And there you have it. There you have it. E&E present. That's what the facts. The real contender. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me, baby. Thinking back when I was sitting in a prison cell, serving hard times for hard white and digi skills. I got flicks from Rain Man through the prison mail. That nigga one of the realest, cause he didn't tell. 45's my brethren, I really love you, dog. When I would call collect, you would accept my call. Adrian, my sister, I love you. She used to hold me down, bringing gin to see me. That thought just made me smile. My